Hello, I'm Avinash Kodey, co-founder of MDOps. So 4 years back, I quit my job. I wanted to become an entrepreneur. And I was obviously out of the employer's insurance plan. And that's when I found out not just the hospital, but even the office visits are so expensive. I got into financial trouble keeping up with those payments. And so we figured out, okay, there's got to be something wrong here, and we started looking into it. Why would it be so expensive? And there are a few things that we found that were causing the problems, some key trends. Half the patients with chronic conditions don't even get required care, and primarily because the physicians simply cannot comprehend all the patient data and understand the patient's condition at the point of care, and so they are unable to come up with the right treatment plan. And what ends up happening is we are spending, as a country, of the $3 trillion, 86% of it we are managing these chronic conditions. And that essentially became mind-boggling, and we said, okay, there's got to be something that we can actually do about it. And that became our focus. Okay, this is where we need to be. We essentially need to make assessing the patient's condition, change it from an expert opinion to exact science. And that's what we are trying to do, and that's why we started going. So we built a team with that focus, with these three areas. The whole idea, our technology solution built with these three as the core pillars of the technology. So what does the application do? This is essentially a virtual clinical assistant. Its primary function is tap into the patient's data in the physician's EHRs and beyond to do two things: identify the adverse events that happen in this chronic care patients. Right now, we're focused on COPD. So it's identifying the exacerbations that the patient can get into, identify those high risk, and help the physician comprehend data by simply using their voice. Is simply asking so that they can quickly and better understand the patient's condition and come up with the accurate treatment plan. That essentially is the gist of what the application does. So how are we different? So there are key things that this application does different. A, it actually takes the control away from the EMR technology vendors and gives it back to the providers. That means that you do not deal with an EHR, you leave it as is, and you focus on training the virtual assistant to be able to recognize those adverse events and alert the physician. And B, it looks beyond the physician's EHR to give him a much broader perspective. Like it can say, hey, this patient went to a hospital just 2 months back, or this patient has refilled albuterol 3 times this year. These are key triggers that indicate this patient has got breathing difficulties and is at very high risk of an exacerbation and ending up back in the hospital. So these are the key differentiations that is actually makes the technology so unique. And we can see it is working great because you've got far fewer patients going to the hospital, and those who are going to the hospital are coming back home much faster because they're spending less time in the post-acute facilities. And third, but not the least, physicians are spending a lot less time doing the non-clinical stuff that needs to meet their clinical guidelines or compliance. So the momentum, so far, we have got around 25 customers. We have finished around 700,000 patient encounters to date. And we have generated $500,000 so far to date in revenue. We have got a key partnership with Allscripts, who actually validated, tested, and certified our technology and made it available to their 200,000 providers. And we've got Stony Brook, which supports us with their clinical research in the machine learning area. And last but not least, the Associated Physicians practice, which validates our technology with every new release. They validate it before we give it out to our broader customer base. is essentially creating a pipeline of delivery. So the key thing is we want to attack that 86% of the spend we do on the chronic care patients by making the assessment of patient condition from an expert opinion to an exact science and make that an accurate delivery and accurate treatment. If any questions, come over and meet me. I can actually do a quick demo of the virtual assistant. Feel free to reach out to me through a HQ app. Thank you.